So you want to build a house? Welcome to the So You Want to Build a House podcast, sponsored by Aurora Homes. I'm Scott Daly. I'm here with my co-host, Keith Strom.
Hey.
And we're back. We've been on a little hiatus here for a couple of months. We're back with episode 35. 35. And as you already know, because you clicked on the link, we're going to be talking about what it's like to live year-round, beyond the summer. Beaches beyond the summer. That's our catchy little title.
Yeah, I like that. Beaches beyond the summer.
I love that. Who came up with that?
Beaches beyond.
That's good. Yeah, that's wonderful. So beaches beyond summer. So, you know, this area is well known as a summer resort and takes on a very different character in the summer. But what's it like if you come down here, you build a house, and you live year-round? So we're going to unpack that briefly, or at least that is the idea, unless we get stuck going down some other rabbit holes. But that's exciting. And so what I thought we would do is just go through and talk about the seasons. And by the seasons, I mean the other three that are not summer.
Right. We already know that one. Or you probably already know that one.
Right. I mean, people
Listener.
come down here in the summer. Like if you're thinking about moving down here full time, you've either been here in the summer, or you're probably taking a job, and then the seasons don't necessarily matter. That's kind of made the decision for you. But let's assume you don't have to move here. You have options.
Yep.
And so you say, hey, let's go check it out, and you come down here in July, and the Delaware Beach area in July is a little different than what you're going to find in November.
Yeah. Well, and I mean this area has become a lot less seasonal. Like, you know, I think everybody kind of understands what you do in the summer here. You go to the boardwalk, you go to the ocean, all of that. But there's a lot more to do and get into in the other seasons now that maybe you wouldn't find 25 years
right.
ago.
So that's what we're going to briefly unpack on this podcast. All this free information is here for you because we really believe the more information you have, the better decision you can make. Hi, this is Scott Daly at Aurora Homes. Do you know the one greatest regret that people that build a new home have when they move in? Believe it or not, it's that they didn't get all of the features that they wanted. And so one of the big problems that you have with some of the large production builders is the speed at which they're going to move you through the process of making selections on a new home. At Aurora Homes, we're going to draw your plans from scratch. We're going to get to know you in the process, and we're going to walk you through so that you get the home that best suits your life. At Aurora Homes, our semi-custom production system will allow you to get the better home. We're here. We're available. We'd love to talk to you about your new project. You can reach out to us at yourfuturewillthankyou.com or give us a call at 302-381-8881. Now back to the podcast. So the summer ends. When does summer end around here?
Typically, like, temperature-wise, September starts to turn a little bit.
Sure.
August is usually our hottest month. So after August, it starts to cool off a little bit. But you can still have really nice temperature into October.
No question. So I think a lot of times the end of the season it used to be marked maybe by Labor Day.
Yeah, I can see that.
And even around here, schools don't start generally until after Labor Day, but that's not a trend you see in schools anymore. But the funny thing is, like, a lot of times, a lot of locals measure it by parking, right? So when the meters go out, like in Rehoboth, at least as of this recording, the meters go out on September 15th.
Okay.
I know that they're talking about changing that. So if you're
probably pushing it back.
Oh,
my goodness.
Or even just keeping them year round.
And that's been happening. What was Lewis last year?
Lewis is October 15th, which is dreadful.
And when does it start, though?
Lewis starts in May, I think.
Yeah.
And Rehoboth starts probably about the same time.
Yeah, because it used to just be like the summer, right?
Right. Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yeah. That's when you paid for parking.
Right.
Yeah. So that's changed.
And that's different because, you know, if you're going into Rehoboth, it's like $2 or $3 an hour to park.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make a list of everything you want to do down there and try and hit it.
Right.
In Lewis it's a little cheaper, right?
I think it's cheaper, but Lewis, there's also non-metered parking pretty close to town.
Yeah, you can park down at the ball field. I do that a lot of times.
Right, or just one block off of 2nd Street.
Yep.
going away from the canal. There's no parking restrictions. So if you can find a spot, you can be there, and that's easy. So that's kind of what they call, a lot of people around here call it local summer. Starts in September, right? So all the tourists, all the summer people are gone, and the fall kind of is my favorite time in the beach because you get the weather.
Yeah, great weather,
and you don't have the crowds.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can still swim in the water if you want to do that. Everything's still generally open, especially on the weekends, and there's just a lot to do around here that you would just be doing in the summer. You just don't have to share it with all those other people.
Yeah.
So, and there's some meteorological things that work for you in the fall, and that is, this area is right next to the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean's a large body of water, and it dictates a lot of the weather that you get when you live near it. And so what ends up happening is the ocean temperature lags air temperature. And so, by the end of October, the rest of the world has started to cool off, but the ocean really hasn't cooled off that much. It's going to take its sweet time getting to its winter temperatures. And so it ends up having like this warming effect on the area. So it can be warmer here right on the coast than you would get, say, in Washington, D.C., or even in Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
That's not as influenced by the oceans. And so that is another bonus, that you get this really, really nice fall that, even the ocean tends to keep the stuff more temperate really sometimes through Christmas. Like, we just don't always see a ton of super cold weather.
Yeah.
Until January, and a lot of that has to do with just the ocean's going to have to crank down in temperature, and it's going to take its sweet time doing that.
Right.
So what else? What else do we have going on in the fall?
I mean, for me, like it kind of piggybacks what you were mentioning. The weather stays super. You use the word temperate, so it's kind of it's milder. It's not as hot as it was in the summer, but you can still be outside into the night. And one of my favorite things is having dinner outside. So there's like a lot of these restaurants have outdoor seating, and that's something you can take advantage of in the fall that you can't really in the winter, because you might have a couple warm days in the wintertime, but in the fall it's certainly a little bit more doable. You can sit outside almost any day in the fall.
Yeah, that's very true. That is really nice. And there's also still a lot of things to do here in the fall.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've lived down here over 25 years, and it's really changed. When I first moved down here, right around, I moved down here in 1999, and the area has changed so much. It's like you said, it's so much less seasonal. But you get into the fall, and there just wasn't a lot to do. And nowadays there is a lot to do. There are festivals and events and weekend things that run throughout the fall, and generally speaking, you get really good weather, and you can have a lot of fun here in the fall. I mean, it's my favorite time. And as far as I know, the biggest day in Rehoboth Beach of the year is actually not the 4th of July. It is the SYWTBAH
It's
Festival.
SYWTBAH.
It's
Yeah.
SYWTBAH, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know that was true before COVID. I'm not 100% sure if it's true after.
Yeah.
But they would get a bigger crowd into Rehoboth for the SYWTBAH Festival, which is, it's usually the weekend right after Halloween. It's somewhere around Halloween. I don't think it's ever before Halloween.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
I heard the numbers last year, 2024, was insane.
I mean, there's like 35 or 40,000 people.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot down there.
Yeah. And you can go. The SYWTBAH Festival is a glorified Halloween parade.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's really what is the core activity, is the Halloween parade, the Saturday of whatever weekend. And then the Sunday is a pet parade. Like, you can put your dog in a costume.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I guess your cat, in theory, if you can get your cat to walk.
Yeah, your jackrabbit
Right.
or whatever.
And that Saturday night you can trick or treat around businesses, and not all the businesses. This is a big thing put on by the local chamber of commerce. Not all the businesses love that because you can spend like $1,000 on candy. Because 35,000 people.
Oh
show
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and it's all kids and they want candy.
Yep.
But the core of this thing, which is such a small town phenomena, is it's really a Halloween parade for the city of Rehoboth.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis has a Halloween parade. Milford has a Halloween parade.
Milton does.
Milton. These little towns love parades.
And they plan it out too, so you can like hit them all usually.
Oh, it's a big deal. And
Yeah.
you have 4th of July parades.
Yep.
You have Christmas parades, and these are things that people love to go and do. And that's kind of something that was shocking for me because I didn't grow up here. I didn't grow up in a small town. And then you see this small town stuff, and you bring out the fire trucks, and you bring out, Miss Black Eyed Peas, Delaware 2025.
Yeah.
And she's riding in a convertible, and you're thinking, we have a Miss Black Eyed Pea or whatever, Miss Junior Black Eyed Pea.
Right.
And she's, got a lot of makeup on, and she does that perfect little wave. And, mom and dad are so proud. And used to have these Shriners that go around in these little go-karts, and they were terrifying because it's like this 80-year-old guy driving this go-kart all over the place like a crazy man. I mean, and literally, like, if you want to be in the SYWTBAH parade, you line up. That's it. Like, if you go stand in line, you're in the parade. And I mean,
that's cool.
It's. I think that's just
that's
fun.
awesome.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't really want to be in the parade, but I love that I could. I like the freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other funny thing is now, this is in America, so any excuse we have to sit in a chair and drink alcohol, and that's kind of the adult side of the SYWTBAH. And I saw on Facebook this past year, people were going down like 2 days before and parking vehicles and leaving chairs like along Rehoboth Avenue. So the festival goes down the main drag.
Yeah.
And which is Rehoboth Avenue, and it's a loop, and I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, people were like, I had friends that drove a car and parked it in Rehoboth so they could tailgate, and it was like Wednesday.
Dang.
So they could have a spot. And, so it's really become a thing.
Wow.
And it's funny because you would think at the beach, the 4th of July would be the biggest day. And I think it used to be, but and I don't know what has changed. But it's insane, and it's all going on in the fall.
It's probably also, obviously you have so many people visiting during the summer months. So the 4th of July, there's a lot of out of staters coming in, enjoying the 4th of July at Rehoboth, and then a lot of local representation during SYWTBAH, and even people coming in. So you have a lot more local representation probably, and then people come in still.
Right.
So it's just it's kind
and
of
it's an easy
thing.
day trip. Like, there's a lot of places to go on the 4th of July, but like you can day trip Rehoboth Beach if you're from DC, if you're from Philly, if you're from Baltimore. It's a long day, but you can do it. And so it's a nice one day.
What's that
thing.
event they do in Rehoboth where is it the sidewalk sales? Is it what is it it's called like Generosity
They have hospitality
weekend?
night.
Hospitality night.
Right.
That's it.
Lewis does that. Lewis's is in December. I think they're both in December, but they have sidewalk sale in Rehoboth, and that's usually, I think it's in September.
Right.
And there's a lot of other things besides SYWTBAH. There's Bridgeville has the Apple Scrapple Festival.
Yep, that's fun. We did that last year, I
which
think.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Ocean City is running a huge musical event called Ocean's Calling. They've done the last 2 or 3 years, which is right at the end of September. And then the week after that is a country music festival.
Called Country's Calling.
Country Calling?
Yeah.
Country's Calling? Whatever.
Uh-huh.
And you're talking 50,000 people.
It's so cool.
It's
so cool.
And
We went last year.
Right. That's 45 minutes down the road. There is a jazz festival in November. There is a film festival in November. There's just a lot of activities going on. And, of course, there's farms. And, fall on a farm is fun. There's corn mazes and hay rides. And,
Yep.
we're still in a relatively rural agricultural area, and there's just a lot to do. The traffic is not nearly what you find in the summer. But the weather's still great.
Yep.
And so that's the fall. So the falls can be busy. The other thing that you find in a lot of the off seasons is a lot of restaurants will start to run weekly specials. And that used to kick in like right after Labor Day, and now that's like kicking in like November, December,
Yeah,
January.
that's like my favorite thing.
Right.
I love that so much.
Where you can just go and they have deals on certain nights.
Yep.
Half price this
Or special menus.
or
Like if you go to
yeah.
if you go to Agave right now, they have like this really cool menu with like a burrito quesadilla and like a just like they've got like all this like these taquitos with this like guacamole stuff on top, and it's not something they normally sell.
Right.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's just it's just phenomenal. So fall is an absolute wonderful time. Great weather, relaxed, and just something to do. So what about winter? Now Keith and I, just so you know a little of our backgrounds, we have a slightly different perspective on winter. He and I.
Yeah.
And that is I would rather just hibernate in the winter. So, anything below 65 to me is frigid and unbearable. And Keith, what's your perspective on cold?
I grew up in Alaska, so I love the winter.
You heard that right. He's from Alaska.
It's my favorite time of year. So like right now it's funny because we've got, one of the biggest snowstorms that we've had in some time.
Right. So as we're recording
12 inches, right?
There was almost a foot of snow in Lewis.
Yeah, which is a lot for us. Like,
which is insane.
That total and by the fact also that it was so cold before the storm, like a lot of the snow is just kind of stuck around all week.
Right.
And so, you can do snowmen, things like that. So if you're coming from somewhere up north, let's say you're coming from New York, there is still a chance that when you come down here, you can enjoy a snow day. It's just not as long.
It's just not. And so the funny thing is like this winter, which is the winter of 2025, January of 2025, had me eat words. Because I've said to so many people, what are the winters like? Yeah, we get snowstorms, but they're not that much and they never stay. And so if you look out the windows when we're recording this, we're looking at snow that is now 10 or 11 days old.
That's unheard of.
Unheard of. The temperature's barely been above freezing since it snowed, and it snowed a week and a half ago. And, this type of cold. And it's so funny to listen to the people that have moved here from somewhere else. So you're from Alaska. You're used to the snow. I'm from Washington, D.C., and we freak out about snow. Like, and that's, the world shuts down. But like when you run into Sussex County and they get a foot of snow, they're just not equipped to handle it. Like, the way we clear the roads here is with the sun. And that doesn't mean we don't have people plowing the streets and salting the roads and all that. It's just, we're just not equipped. If it stays cold, nowadays there's still frozen stuff all over the roads in certain places. And most of the subdivisions in Sussex County are privately owned streets, which means the HOA has to hire the snow removal. And so that really means what you're getting is a local landscaping company, and they're coming in and they're plowing, and they may do a good job and they may not.
Right.
The other thing you're going to find that was new to me, because I did not grow up in an area as flat as this, is when you have cold days like this, you get this wind-driven snow, and you can plow a road, and then in 2 hours, if the wind's blowing, you have to come back and plow that spot again, because it's flat here, and there's still a lot of open fields, and the snow just blows around, and if it doesn't melt, it piles up it's hilarious. And then you get on the Facebook groups and everybody's freaking out. Oh, the snow removal's so bad and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can't stand this. And the homeowners are like, we have to clear the roads. And it's like, do we?
Yeah.
Like there's no money in the budget for snow removal. So,
and they're all home anyway,
where are you going to go?
No, you're just going to work from home and just enjoy time with your family.
Right. And
great.
It's flat here. Like if you grew up and so like, a lot of my family's from Pittsburgh. It snows there, and there's hills. And so you go up and down an icy road in Pittsburgh, and you're going down a hill, you're going up a hill. Like, it's treacherous. Like, here you might have an icy road. It's flat.
Yeah.
And it's, if you go slow and you don't stop, it's kind of hard to get stuck.
Yeah.
This terrible people. We're going to get all this feedback. Like, it's hard to drive in the snow. People are going to complain that, like, a lot of the people around here are retired. If it snows on the road, the schools are closed. Like, you don't have it to be anywhere.
Yeah.
So don't go.
Yeah.
And just sit there. So, yeah. So when it does snow here, which is not that often, this area is not built to handle it. And everybody gripes. And it's like, well, you can't have it all, right? I mean, if you moved here from Boston, Boston knows how to handle snow, and they get snow. Well, we don't. And so the world just gets a little weird for a couple of days, and then it's fine.
Yeah. It really is, it is not something that we handle a lot.
Right.
On a year-by-year basis. I mean, this snowstorm we're dealing with right now, but when was the last time we had snow like this?
I mean, I think it's been like 10 years.
Yeah, so.
But it might
There you
not
go.
have. It's been a long time. And, so other things, there's still fun stuff to do here in the winter. There's still winter specials on restaurants. Generally speaking, the best waves, if you're a surfer, happen here in the fall and winter, especially when we get nor'easters. Of course, if you're going to go out in the ocean, which is 38 degrees, you're going to need some gear for that. But if that's your thing, you're into it. You can usually, there's still fishing that you can go and do if you want to be on the water and you can tolerate the weather. But, things do really slow down here. But, a lot of people still come down on the weekends. Just about everything's open on the
weekends. And you can
weekends.
shop, too. Like, we've got some of the best tax-free shopping, in the Mid-Atlantic. I mean, Tanger Outlets, you've got Nike, Abercrombie, Lululemon, whatever you want.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
No sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
You probably already knew that if you're listening to this. So
yeah.
So and then moving into spring, things are starting to warm up. So now this is the meteorological science nerd thing. The spring kind of bites us in the hiney here with that ocean. So I was talking about how the ocean keeps us warm in the fall. It works against us, keeps us cool in the spring.
Yeah.
And so you get into May, and it's not unusual, like Memorial Day weekend, which is supposedly the opening of the summer, and the ocean is 60, 62 degrees, which where I live, I don't go in 62-degree water unless, I fell into it or, I'm drowning. That's not on purpose.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the spring here can lag with the warm weather. Just a little bit. But, as stuff starts to open up and the world thaws out, there's still a lot of fun ththings and fun activities. So.
Yeah, and you can catch a lot of what you like about the summer before it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a lot of locals will go down to the beach in May if we have a really nice, beautiful May, just because they're trying to soak in that beach before before the traffic and a lot of that jams everything up for
before they
months.
have to share that with all of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's one perk to living here, definitely, is you have access. If you have a really nice April and May, which is not uncommon, you can really take advantage of the beach before the season starts.
And it's always fascinating to me, like people that want to move down here, they're always looking for a neighborhood with a pool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you live near the beach.
You got a pool. It's called the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, and if you can't handle the waves, it's called the Delaware Bay. I never understood that. Like if you just want to come to your neighborhood and hang out at the pool, like move to Indiana. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
And they have pools, water, and the difference between a pool in Indiana and a pool in Delaware, I don't know, there isn't one. But
and we can get a lot of rain during that period too. So if you're into agriculture, planting, things like that, springtime, you can get some plants planted, and then, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
And we get these storms called nor'easters. Everyone worries about hurricanes. Of course, I'm going to say this, and then, we're going to get slammed next summer. Hurricanes are not, they're certainly a risk here, but they're not the biggest risk to other places on the eastern seaboard. Because for whatever reason, hurricanes tend to follow the Gulf Stream, which is this warm water that flows north and I guess ultimately hits England or something like that. But the Gulf Stream here is like 70, 80 miles offshore. So a lot of times that's where a hurricane that goes north in the summer is getting its energy because that water is warmer. And so we don't get a lot of direct hurricane hits. I do remember with Superstorm Sandy, which I think was 2012, Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel came to Rehoboth. And he's like the hurricane kiss of death, right? They want to put him in the eye of the storm, hanging onto a tree, blowing sideways.
Yeah.
He's giving the report with the 140 mile an hour sustained winds, and bricks are hitting him in the head. That's where they send Jim Cantori. And so oh my gosh, Jim Cantori is in our town. That means we're done. It's over. Sandy's hitting us dead on. But then he went to New Jersey, and Sandy hit up there, and they got crushed, and we didn't. We do get these storms called nor'easters, which are little, but not necessarily less powerful than hurricanes, and they usually form off the coast of like North or South Carolina, and then they wind their way up here. And they can be winter storms, they can be summer storms. I don't know exactly what forms them, but they're just called nor'easters, not northeasters. If you see nor'easter written, it's got like this apostrophe in the middle of it. I don't know where that comes from, and those tend to do more damage to the coast here than a hurricane. And they can also go slower than hurricanes, and a lot of times those are rainstorms because the moisture's coming off the ocean. But when they go north, and they turn into snowstorms. So we do have weather and that thing, and that is an impact. But people worry about flooding and stuff like that, and generally speaking, it's there is some coastal inland flooding in low-lying areas, but people really don't understand what a low-lying area is, until you realize that the Rehoboth boardwalk is not in a floodplain.
Right.
Because it's in none of Rehoboth. Now, all of Bethany's in a floodplain.
Right. Yeah.
And, Lewis is not on the ocean, so it's not, and once you're 10 or 15 feet above sea level, you're not in a flood. I mean, there's buildings in Rehoboth that are new buildings that are built with basements. And so, flooding is not that an issue. We get questions about like sea level rise, and that, it's an issue for beach erosion, and it's certainly an issue over time, but it's not the pressing issue that everyone thinks it is, because the water has to go up a lot.
Right. Yeah.
For, we have people that are looking in like Milton, Delaware, and so Milton, Delaware is probably 40 feet above sea level, and it's like, well, what's going to happen with sea level rise? And I'm like, do you know what happens if the ocean level rises 40 feet?
Yeah.
Like half of Delaware's underwater, like all of Florida. Like no one is saying the ocean. They're going to say like the ocean's going to rise like 6 inches in the next 100 years, and that's catastrophic. And it probably is.
Yeah.
But now you're 39.5 feet above sea level.
It's like that movie with Bruce Willis, that Waterworld. Remember that one? Yeah. Where like
I think that was Kevin Costner.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't think it was.
You're not old enough. That was a dumb movie.
I
but
must be thinking of like Fifth Element or something like that.
No, but it's same era, like right around the turn of the century.
Yeah. And then I mean, you wouldn't even have a car for your driveway. You'd have a boat. Like
right.
If it rose to that
well,
level.
and the perverse argument is if you can wait long enough, Milton will be oceanfront. Now you need thousands of years. I mean, take your vitamins.
Yeah.
Or
get into like freezing yourself.
Yeah, you could go hang out with Michael. Didn't Michael Jackson freeze himself? Or no, Walt Disney.
Did he really?
I think, I don't know. I just fact check this, but
he might still be frozen.
I think he probably is somewhere.
Wow.
He's like in a basement, under the Magic Kingdom in California.
Really?
Mickey's just waiting to bring him back.
I did not know.
I don't know where he is.
That's
but
crazy.
I'm pretty sure that the rumor is he had himself frozen.
I'm looking that up today.
Right? We're going to get fact check.
Where is
These people don't know anything about houses. They think Walt Disney's frozen.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't have a freezer in my basement. I don't have Walt Disney. Do you?
No.
I don't know when he died either.
Me neither.
But
yeah, me neither.
He might have died before either of us were born.
Yeah, I don't know.
But my grandkids like Mickey Mouse.
It's so hard to it'd be hard to even speculate because his brand has been so iconic for so long.
Right. He's been around.
Even after he wasn't around anymore.
Correct. Maybe even bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe he's actually, frozen and still, drawing. Did he draw or did he just, I don't know.
He drew.
I need to watch it.
Yeah,
something.
he did draw.
Did he draw Mickey Mouse?
He did draw Mickey Mouse.
Get out.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if Mickey Mouse was the first drawing, though. I can't remember.
Steamboat Willie. That was Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a little before my time. A little before my parents' time, but not too far before my parents' time.
Is that in the 50s?
I think that was the 20s.
The 20s.
20s or 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm way off.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. That's the Scott and Keith rabbit hole that you've come to know and love. Walt Disney's frozen bodies in Keith's house. His wife's a hoarder. I mean, it's entirely possible that A, Walt Disney is in his house, and B, he's not aware.
We just unthaw him every once in a while so he can do a couple drawings and then he goes back.
Right. The kid and his children love Disney. I mean, there's a legit conspiracy theory here that is Mickey Mouse is in southern Delaware.
Yeah.
Alive and not alive and well, frozen. And Keith doesn't even know.
Maybe alive.
Because his
Maybe
wife
not.
has him in the basement, and there's so much crap in the basement, and she can hide it from him, and Keith will never know.
Yeah, it's true. Probably tucked into some nook, some cranny.
On the unfinished side of your basement.
Yeah.
There's this big container. Then Autumn's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, because it's freaking Walt Disney. Wow. All right. So okay. So listen. Wrapping up. A lot of folks are sitting there saying, what is my life going to look like if I decide to move to the beach? There's a lot of reasons to want to live in southern Delaware. There's a lot of places that you can check out and opportunities. And so then the question is, what's my life going to look like? And the answer is, it's been a changing answer. That if you looked at this place 25 years ago, you'd say, hey, it's going to be really quiet in the winter. And now,
It's not.
It's not. I don't really think that's the case. This area is much less seasonal. And there's just a lot of fun things to do, that it's a great place. And so part of the reason why, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are looking here is, you're right. It's a fun place to live. So stay home when it snows and go out in September. Anything else these people need to know?
No, I think we covered it pretty well.
Great. So again, we're happy to be here as a resource. This is the So You Want to Build a House podcast. I'm Scott Daly.
I'm Keith Strom.
And we'll be back at you with our next episode. Have a great one.